Are you avoiding Swiss meringue buttercream because of things you've read online? Are you making a fresh batch with whole separated eggs every time you decorate a cake? Today I'm busting 5 myths that might be holding you back from making the best use of this versatile cake covering. Hi, I'm Lianna, a self-taught home baker and cake decorator, sharing my journey and tips I've discovered along the way. Swiss meringue buttercream is my go-to cake covering. It's well balanced in flavour and stable enough to use when decorating tall celebration cakes. So let's clear up some confusion. Myth number 1 is that you must use fresh whole eggs. Do you really need to use fresh whole eggs when you make Swiss meringue buttercream? Definitely not. While fresh whole eggs that have been separated can create a more voluminous meringue, which means that you'll get slightly more buttercream out of your batch, store-bought carton egg whites are a great option. They're pasteurized, so they're safe to use, convenient, time efficient, and mess-free. This means you don't need to separate eggs, and you also don't need to find a use for leftover egg yolks. I use carton egg whites for most of my Swiss meringue buttercream batches, and they work beautifully. I'll only use fresh whole eggs if I need the yolks for a filling, such as a curd. Myth number 2 is that for your covering to be smooth, you must make a fresh batch of buttercream. You've probably heard that you need to whip up a fresh batch of Swiss meringue buttercream every time you cover a cake because it will guarantee fewer air bubbles. But that's just not true. While fresh buttercream is lovely and can be very smooth, especially in summer, it's not always practical. You can use buttercream that's been made ahead of time and stored in the fridge, or buttercream that's been frozen. The key is to bring it back to room temperature when you use it. Warmer, softer buttercream spreads more evenly and gives you a smoother finish. So go ahead and make your buttercream ahead of time or in bulk and save yourself some stress. It's one less thing you need to worry about when making complex cakes. Myth number 3 is that you must add butter to the meringue slowly, 1 cube at a time. The classic advice for Swiss meringue buttercream is to add cold butter into your meringue cube by cube, waiting for each cube to be incorporated into the meringue before adding the next. This may have some benefits, especially if your meringue is warm, but it's tedious. And especially for large batches, it's even more tedious and it's not necessary. If your meringue is cool and your butter is soft, but not melted, you can add the butter to your meringue in 1 or 2 batches, depending on the size of the batch you're making. Myth number 4 is that freshly made Swiss meringue buttercream is always smooth and bubble-free. Have you ever made a batch of Swiss meringue buttercream in winter and wondered why it's full of bubbles? It's not you, it's the temperature. Butter hardens when it's cold, and buttercream is predominantly made of butter. So this can make it more difficult to get a buttercream finish without bubbles. The fix is to gently warm your buttercream. You can do this either in the microwave, but just for a few seconds at a time, or over a bain-marie if you'd like to have a gentler warm and more control. Then beat or slap the buttercream against your bowl with a spatula to remove the majority of the air bubbles. Warmer buttercream should have fewer air bubbles and give you a smoother finish. Working in a temperature-controlled, slightly warmer room can also help ensure that the buttercream doesn't harden too quickly while you're working with it. Myth number 5 is that you need special equipment or a perfect recipe to master Swiss meringue buttercream. When I started out, I bought a silicone paddle attachment, hoping for bubble-free buttercream. Honestly, I didn't need it, and I hardly use it. A magic recipe also won't solve any of your buttercream problems, or necessarily give you smooth buttercream. Some things I've learned is to beat your buttercream on low with the paddle attachment to remove air bubbles, and to play with the temperature of the buttercream to help remove air bubbles and give you a smoother finish. And if you do spot bubbles on your cake, remember, nobody's getting as close to the cake as you are, and you're most likely the only person who will notice. Did you believe any of these myths, or have you heard any others? Let me know in the comments. And if you found these tips helpful, subscribe for tips and cake decorating videos. Thanks for watching. Ciao!